And it looks like we finally got the countdown there. Anyways, I'm going to be uploading it to sk-gaming.com. I'm obviously going to be editing out the time between the games, so you'll just be able to come in and have a little bit more of a concise video. Now here we go, TVP here on the Shattered Temple, as Tarson spawning down in the 6, and Enso down in the 9. Ooh, both these players spawning where they are. We could have a early aerial battle. Maybe we'll see a Tarson go with a 1-1-1 build. You know, it's hard to say at this point. But either way, we'll just go over a little bit of the data for the players here. Enso from Europe, obviously. He is his real name Alexander. Again, Protoss player, and yeah, Team Razer. He's actually had a lot of league play here recently. He played in a close combat tournament in March. Looks like he's actually done a couple of Champions Trophy tournaments. Obviously, I think it was December where he made it Grand Finals? Pretty close there. But yeah, he's been playing in pretty much all of the Champions Trophy tournament. Looks like he played in a couple of Competo Cups. Let's see, we've got a couple Craft Cups as well. So, does a pretty good job here. Actually scored first place in a number of tournaments. Seeing both are actually the Protoss players already scouting there, heading out just a little bit earlier than his Terran opponent, who you can see right now he's going ahead with the pretty traditional build. Got the barracks gas depot, probably have an orbital command. So far he is set up to do a 1-1-1, so we'll see actually what he is going to be doing. Enso here going pretty traditional as well. Just a quick, super quick map review. Shattered Temple, the changes most notable. They moved the minerals, got rid of the high ground here, replaced the islands with, now connected to the land, put some rocks there, and also in the middle, one watchtower now instead of two. Which this I don't know, for whatever reason, looks just disproportionately large compared to what I'm used to. But I don't know, it's probably just me. Anyways, yeah, Blizzard actually removed a lot of the high ground. There is still a little bit right here and down there as well, but it's mostly flat out here in the middle now. So it helped a little bit with the balance there. So there we go. Could be getting actually a Reaper verse. Could also be popping out a Marauder. We'll see. Most likely, yeah, there we go. There's that Reaper. Giving the players' positions, that Reaper could actually come in here pretty quick. Enso does have the pylon. Nice placement right here, so he'll be able to spot that Reaper as soon as it pops up and handle it pretty quickly. Now Enso, we see he's doing kind of what I expected him to do as well, going ahead with that Stalker right off the bat. That's what you do a lot of times versus Terran, because of exactly what we're seeing right now. With that Reaper out, the first thing you want out is not going to be a Zealot, because that Zealot is just going to be chasing the SCV that's scouting you. It's going to be chasing that Reaper for all day long. And you see right there, the Stalker has already done a good job taking out that Scout. Now here we go, actually. The Protoss is going to be going with a pretty early expansion, but you see that the Terran player is as well. Neither player has actually scouted that out yet, so you just missed that. Obviously with the Marine down there at the base, was able to stop scouting from happening there. So going for the 1-gate expand, this will actually be a pretty interesting match. You know, a lot of times, like I said before, what you'll see of these players, you'll just see them kind of go for a quick way to kill each other, or at least early harassment. But doesn't look like we're going to have that or not a very aggressive game here. We do have him going to robotics facility. You see he's got that second gateway just about complete. Trying to just Chrono Boost the hell out of that warp gate technology, though. And right now, Tarson, I mean, you know, he does know what's going on up here. He's seen pretty much all there is to see. He hasn't spotted that robotics facility. He hasn't spotted that second gateway yet. Now, obviously, warp gate being just about done, that is going to be something that he is going to expect. Of course, Tarson, knowing the positions now, placing that depot there, trying to make sure there's not going to be any sort of drops. White Raw, who is, he's a semi-regular in this tournament. We've, of course, he is notorious for using those warp prisms. It's always something you can pretty much just expect by default from him when you're watching. But, you know, actually, I don't think he's been to the last two. It's kind of a sad thing. Looks like the Reaper was able to get a couple kills down here at the expansion. Took out a couple probes. Heading out pretty quickly, though. Inso just doesn't really have any forces down here in the immediate area. But you see, actually, in terms of army size, 46 to 43 right now. A lot of that, obviously, probes. So neither one of them really has a whole lot going on right now. They're pretty much just teching up, getting their economy going, not being super aggressive. I think both of them kind of know that the other is still focused on their economy, so they're kind of hesitant. They got enough defenses here, enough units to hold off an early or a small attack, but both of them know that neither one of them is going to be going for any sort of super aggressive play here in the coming minutes. But there we go, nice warp in by Enso, keeping that Reaper away. And of course, I think Tarson knew this Reaper was going to be sacrificed, but he did get some very critical information. We can actually just come down here and see he spotted all of this. He spotted all the new structures right here. He spotted that robotics bay. He knows he's going to be facing off against Colossi soon, so we could expect him to see maybe a couple of Vikings. We do have the starport on the way right now. Also the reactor, yep, so sure enough he's using this factory to get the reactor for this starport right here, probably get a couple medevacs as well. As you see, other than the starport, he is going to be focusing on a pretty infantry heavy build. We could see him go, looks like, yeah, he's getting the additional tech lab there. I'm thinking we're going to see a pretty traditional Terran Marauder Viking build transitioning into the 10-minute mark here in just a moment or two. And probably expecting Gateway Colossi. Yep, there's that extended thermal lance right there. And given the expansion that these players have right now, I would not be entirely surprised if maybe they're actually able to get another expansion here coming in just a moment or two. We're seeing that the Observer over here is going to allow the Protoss player, obviously, to keep an eye on the army just out of range. Tarson, of course, throwing down the turrets here. Good placement on that. Make sure that the Protoss player doesn't come down here with the Observer directly. And yep, that's what we were talking about a minute ago. Looking at everything going on right now. Ooh, 2 Stargates and a Ghost Academy going down. That'll prove to be interesting here. But he's probably going to want to take that expansion. Yeah, I'm thinking Enso, sure enough, going to be taking this. He's going to need that gas to go ahead. If he's going to be producing Colossi, Stargate, or Warp Gate units and Stargate, then yeah, he's definitely going to be needing to get another expansion here. Maybe a couple Void Rays to supplement what he has already right now. Be great when dealing with those Vikings. Or not Void Rays, but Phoenix. We'll actually see what he's going to be doing here. We could actually see the Terran player suffer a couple losses here in just a minute. I don't know. Yeah, sure enough, he walked too close to that area, and he's actually pulling the Colossi off. Whew. Oh man, I bet he's actually probably happy right now. He knew that the majority of the forces were actually running this way, so it wasn't going to be a massive, well, it was a risk, but not a massive one, because he saw the Terran player was actually continuing to follow towards the middle. But if that Terran player had stemmed and run back, he could have gotten 2 free Colossi kills. So 3 of them right now. It's got a decent number of Zealots. And yeah, sure enough, going to be going with the Phoenix. There was, I think, a supply block for just a brief second, but not anymore. Yeah, Phoenix there to counter the Vikings, which he's probably going to be expecting here. Just a minute. Yep, sure enough. Now we're actually could have the Terran player moving out. He is probably going to get enough energy on the Ghost, which he could actually get that on the way. He is going to have to take a wide angle though, if he wants to avoid the Colossi right here. So you can see he does have vision down at the bottom. Problem is, though, this Observer, it's going to give him that information. So as soon as he moves out, Protoss is going to know, all right, move my forces in a position to maybe try to pick off a few units there. One thing he's going to have to watch out for are the Vikings running around ahead of the Marauders, maybe trying to pick off a Colossus or two. Tarson going ahead with that expansion. Expanding at a good time there, probably while he's on the offensive. Pretty basic thing to do. This Zealot, man, luckiest SCV on the planet. Oh, just kidding! Just so kidding. And now looking here, we have the Phoenix actually heading out. Going to be maybe, nope, keeping him back there. He could get a couple free kills right here. Does not know where it's at, though. So Tarson moving ahead, going with that scanning. Yeah, I would not be surprised if we saw him using Scan a lot more liberally moving on in this tournament after what happened in game number 2 between him and Size with the Banelings. Yeah, there we go. Terran sees the army is going to be moving in with the Vikings. Phoenix coming in here, you see he's got a number of them. EMP is landing on top of all the gateway forces. He's going to be losing a lot of Zealots very early. You see the EMPs not hit the Colossi. There's a lot of Phoenix here in play, so I don't think he's actually going to be able to take out all of the Colossi there. Sure enough, nice defense, lifting off a couple of those extra units, and now Enso, he handled that exceptionally well. Sure, he did lose a lot of those meat shields there, but I mean that's what they're there for. And now some great Phoenix harassment coming in here from Enso, picking off a number of infantry. You see the SCVs going down one by one there. A couple of Phoenix are going to try to maybe do some harassment, but we see Enso quick to respond there. This is actually going to really hurt his economy. We can see as a result of that attack, 49 to 59. Continuing to chrono boost out the Phoenix. Yep, this is a crucial portion of Enso's build right now. He's going to be able to pop off at least one of those Vikings. Yep, sure enough, there we go. Does not have any upgrades just yet, but you'll see Terran once again going to try to get some ghosts out, maybe do another attack. Although the problem is right now, Enso has been allowed to have this expansion. We haven't seen any drops in the mineral line from MTarson. All we've seen right now is just a straight up engagement right over here, which really did not work out very well. Enso now in a great spot. You see 164 to 107. As far as the income goes, you can see he's a couple hundred ahead. Gas is about even. 10 harvester difference, not that huge. Could still go either way at this point, but I mean, like I said before, with the Protoss player having this giant ball of Colossi out here, you can see he's got 5 of them right now. And I mean, giant ball. This right here is a crap ton of Phoenix just hanging out on the border between these two players' bases. Tarson, though, he does have this expansion up now, gathering a lot of minerals. Twilight Council probably going to be getting that charge upgrade. Now, here we go. 122 to 185. He's hoping to try to catch the Terran player off guard before he's able to fully rebuild his army. You can see he's keeping it down here. He might have to pull off some of those SCVs to tank if the Protoss actually decides to come in. Uh-oh! Look at that, taking out the mules and everything right off the bat. This expansion could lose all of the workers. We're seeing him move the Vikings in, maybe try to pull off a couple kills, but nope, Phoenix is going to get out in time, not going to suffer any heavy losses there. That definitely thinned up the income. We could see now a result of that. The income gap has widened to about 500 minerals, and obviously with the Protoss player having the additional gas up here, about 700 per minute. That's going to really help him. It's going to be necessary with all the tech he's getting right now to really support that. Also going for the high yield. If he's able to get that and secure it, get some probes over here, let's maybe transfer some of these over as the minerals continue to dwindle, then it's really going to allow the Protoss player to move in and score the killing blow. We'll see if he's actually able to or if he builds a few additional production buildings, though. Right now, I don't know if he'll actually be able to. We'll see. We'll see right now. And so coming in, scouting out, sees, alright, got Ghost, still sticking with the infantry build. Marauder Viking right now is what we're seeing. Got a decent number of Marines in, though. You see, he's still continuing to try to get those. Marines, obviously, very, very strong against the, well, I mean, they're very, very strong overall. They've got a very high damage output, considering their, I mean, their just cost effectiveness. Cost effectiveness is through the roof. They'll be able to do a lot of damage against the Zealots and the Stalkers. Very weak against the Colossi, though. Able to handle the Phoenix as well. Speaking of Phoenix, 2 of them going down very quickly. You see, actually, Terran trying to pop off a Colossus. Does get 1 of them, 2 of them, 3. And we still haven't even brought in the infantry. There we go. All but 1 Colossus. All of them are dead now, and now the infantry are just versing the Stalkers. You know, having the proxy pylon here will help out with the reinforcements a ton. Getting those Zealots in there. Zealots obviously very good against the Marauders. But combine that with the liftoff, taking out a lot of the DPS from the equation for Tarson. That's going to allow Enso to really push ahead. I think those reinforcements there were pretty darn important. But really, the Phoenix, man. Oh, the Phoenix. We're going to see him once again come into play here, lifting up all of the SCVs, thinning out the numbers once again for the workers. Tarson will just watch that count going down oh so quickly, rather. Lost a number of workers right there. Couple mules being summoned down once the Phoenix are evacuated. But you see now Enso is going to be able to reproduce his army very quickly. You see he is even further exploring the Protoss tech trees. The only thing I think we're missing at this point, carriers and a mothership. Because you see, he definitely has a number of structures here, sitting at very good 181 to 117. He's just able to reproduce his army so quickly with that additional income from the high yield. Look at that. He's over 2k minerals per minute. Yep, 73 to 62. And now the Terran player, you can see his infantry are actually caught in a corner here. Half of it just being lifted off by the Phoenix, the rest being annihilated by the ground forces, and that's going to force a GG from Tarson, allowing Enso to take game number 1 here on Lost Temple.